Welcome to Lesson 1 in Unit 6, Mastering Mimicry. In this lesson, students will work to answer the question, what biomimicry ideas can we get from seeds? In this lesson, students are introduced to the anchoring phenomenon, the idea that living things can help humans solve problems. Students identify basic plant parts. They use evidence from their observations to identify how plants use seeds. They think about possible human inventions that could use similar structures or functions. Students figure out seeds have external structures that protect their insides, and that sprouts come from seeds. Seed structures can be used to transport seeds, and Velcro was designed using seeds as inspiration. Students make connections to the storyline by thinking about how inspiration from seeds might be used to solve a problem. There are several opportunities for ELA cross-curricular connections throughout the lesson. You can look for specific standard connections in the Unit 6 Teacher Guide. This lesson will take approximately 4 days to complete. You'll begin the Engage portion of the lesson by introducing the anchoring phenomenon, by reading part of the book Nature Did It First, Engineering Through Biomimicry. Use the Read Aloud guide to ask questions while reading. You'll have students make observations and ask questions about how human inventions have been inspired by nature and allow them to turn and talk to discuss their observations. As students are sharing their observations, you'll provide them with the sentence stem, "Now I'm wondering about," to model how we can use observations to develop questions. Students will find the anchoring phenomenon more compelling if they can connect to it personally. If you want to change the phenomenon for your context, keep the following questions in mind. Is it going to be relevant to my students' lives and/or particularly engaging to them? Is it going to motivate students to want to explain plant structures and functions, how humans can mimic plants and animals to solve problems, and how young plants are similar but not the same as their parents? You'll have students turn and talk to brainstorm responses to questions about biomimicry. Post and discuss the inspiration and biomimicry vocabulary cards. You'll tell students that biomimicry is a practice where humans mimic how plants or animals survive in nature to solve a problem, and ask them what they might need to know about living things to use them as inspiration for solving a problem. Note that you will use lima beans for this lesson and through the rest of Session 1. Soak enough of the lima bean seeds overnight before the Lesson 1 Explore so that each group can have one pre-soaked bean. You'll then show the video Plants Are Problem Solvers and ask what new questions students have. Once students have their questions, you will guide them in creating categories for their questions on the driving question board using the steps provided in the teacher guide. Once categories are created, guide the class in collapsing categories into bigger categories that have closer alignment to the driving questions provided in the unit. Here are examples of driving question boards from other K-5 units. They depict the students' questions in categories, some along with a drawn model from the unit. Some driving question boards are simple lists of questions or groups of sticky notes posted on chart paper. Teacher and students can manipulate and move around questions and label categories together. You'll play the germination of a seed time lapse for students. Allow them to watch the video once without giving them any tasks, and then you'll have them re-watch the video and ask questions about what they see and plant parts they may know. You'll post and discuss the seed vocabulary card. For the Explore portion, you'll set up the seeds investigation. Be sure to see the teacher tutorial showing the setup, linked in the teacher guide. You'll place students into groups to investigate pre-soaked and unsoaked lima beans. You'll have students use their Investigating Seeds student journal page to draw their observations about the seeds and their investigation setup. In the Explain portion of the lesson, students will engage in a class discussion to analyze their observations about seeds. Use the provided questions to guide your discussion around the question, what biomimicry ideas can we get from seeds? The goal of this class discussion is to analyze student data and identify similarities and differences between the seeds. You will use the discussion to create the Lesson 1 summary chart. From the discussion, students should understand that humans can use seeds as inspiration for things that can hold and protect, much like a lunchbox. You'll then display and read aloud the MySci science book, Seeds. You'll then replay the germination of a seed time-lapse for students and ask them questions about the inside and outside of the seed. You'll post and discuss the Sprout vocabulary card. For the Elaborate portion, you'll display a picture of a seed and a lunchbox and remind students that we can use nature to inspire inventions. You can refer back to the examples in the book Nature Did It First. You'll allow students to turn and talk and discuss biomimicry ideas. You can use this as an opportunity to formatively assess how students are connecting the structure and function of a seed to that of a human-made product. For the Evaluate portion, you'll let students know that they are going to next investigate sprout growth from seeds. To support student sense-making across the unit, orient students back to the driving question board. Ask, what did we learn about seeds? What biomimicry ideas can we get from seeds? What questions do we still have about plants and their parts? By the end of this lesson, students will have made observations of seeds to explain how their structure and function can be used as inspiration to solve a problem. In Lesson 2, students will plant seeds to investigate sprouts and the plant parts from sprouts that can be used in biomimicry. For more information about this unit, visit myscipartners.com.